Welcome to SureKap's 7-step quick startup guide. Let's get started. Step number 1. Setting the overall height of the capper. Hand tighten a cap on the bottle to be used. Place the capped bottle on the conveyor, exit side of the capper next to the last set of tightening discs. Open gripper belts, if necessary, with front handle. Adjust the overall height of the capper by turning the jack with the extension handle. The correct height should have the bottom of the tightening disc aligned with the bottom of the cap. Always set capper height by going below set point and then raising the capper into place on the upstroke. Step number 2. Setting the cap chute height. Adjust the lower chute by placing a cap in the chute and adjusting the width and top confinement. The caps should slide down freely to the bottom of the chute and rest on the nylon tips of the chute fingers without jamming or falling out. Place an uncapped bottle on the conveyor, entrance side of the capper. Slide the bottle by hand into the capper to pick a cap out of the chute with the bottle. Open gripper belts, if necessary, with front handle. The cap must ride on the cap guides to set the chute height. If the cap is above the cap guides with the cap on top of the bottle, then raise the chute using the adjustment knob until the cap rests on the cap guides. If the chute is too high and the bottle barely picks the cap out of the chute, then lower the chute until the cap rises above the cap guides, and then raise the chute slightly to have the cap rest on top of the cap guides. Step number 3. Setting the floating shoe height. Load the lower cap chute with caps. Move an uncapped bottle through the capper slowly by hand. Let the cap ride on the bottle through the cap guides and stop moving the bottle when the cap falls off the cap guides. Hold the bottle with one hand and slowly unscrew the cap while still on the bottle. The cap will rise until it meets the end of the threads and then it will drop slightly. With the bottle still captured, set the front floating shoe height by adjusting the front floating shoe shaft collar. There should be approximately 1/8 inch of space between the R1 and F1 slide brackets. Next, make sure the floating shoe assembly is as close to the lower chute flipper as possible without touching it. Step number 4. Setting the gripper belt height. The gripper belts should be set to grip the bottle as much as possible without deforming it. They should also be positioned to contact the strongest part of the bottle, usually near the shoulder area. Match the speed of the gripper belts with the conveyor. Maximum accuracy is usually obtained with a conveyor speed of 30 to 40 feet per minute. If this speed is not closely matched, tipping of the container may occur. Step number 5. Setting the clutch torque. The clutches come preset from SureKap. The correct setting is to have the clutches slip when spun quickly by hand. If increased torque is desired after the containers are capping smoothly, turn, in small increments, the clutch's knurled adjustment ring clockwise, on all clutches. Step number 6. Setting the tightening disc. With the capper turned off, hold a single cap in between the first set of tightening discs with one hand and turn the first spindle knob until it barely touches the cap with the other hand. Repeat for the other spindles. Step number 7. Setting the gripper belt width. Place an uncapped bottle between the gripper belts about midway in the gripper belt assembly. Tighten the belts until they touch the container, then an additional 1/2 turn. This is the initial setting and may need to be tightened further as testing begins. The bottle should not slip, but should not be deformed either. That's it. Now test the application for smoothness. There shouldn't be any loud noises or jerky motions. Some small final adjustments may be necessary.